Okay, so I am making this video for myself because I think that I'm just about done. This is season 10 of Project Diablo 2, and I like to have these little reminders of some of my characters from the past. Um, so I'm just going to go over the whole build and explain how everything works. We are playing Whirlwind and using Frenzy to buff Whirlwind's damage and radius. And then we are using a Grandfather, which I got a 4-socket puzzle box on after getting the corruption for enhanced damage. Um, so the only thing better would be um, a 5 or 6 socketed Grandfather that has ohms in it, or an ethereal Grandfather with 6 sockets and ohms. That enhanced damage roll actually makes up for a full ohm rune. So this is effectively like a 5-socket Grandfather without actually having a 5-socket Grandfather, which is kind of nice. Um, then offhand, I got a 4-socket Corruption on a Vile Husk that I found, which is really nice. We loaded that up with Shale Runes, so we have that 100% increased attack speed. This is super helpful for applying our Frenzy, getting those stacks up quickly, so that way we have the max effect, which I'll explain in just a moment. For the helmet, taking Gilliam's face. This is just a cheap one with Thulrune thrown in there because resistances are the bane of this build. So we're really using it for the Crushing Blow and Deadly Strike. Thulrune is just in there to bring the cold resistances up because they were way low. Then here we have a High Lords. This is just a basic High Lords. It's not anything special. Corruption rolled 12 decks. So these on their own are pretty expensive, and this one's not bad. It could be better though with a better corruption. Um, for the chest, using a fortitude, it's a pretty solid one. I don't think the life roll is perfect. I think it's one tick off perfect, but the all res uh, is pretty good. Enhanced defense is okay, but that 2109 defense is actually one of the better fortitudes I found for trade at the time that I was looking for gear. So I actually saved up and splurged on this one a little bit. So this is a pretty good piece of gear. I can't corrupt rune words, so that just is what it is. Then we have a Ravenfrost, just a very basic uh, corruption on there. Not even really concerned with it. I'm really using it for the Cannot Be Frozen. Everything else is pretty much negligible, but need at least one source of Cannot Be Frozen. Verdungo's Mithril Coil. Perfect vitality roll and rolled with 8 all resistances. And like I said, the bane of this build's existence is resistance, so I was quite happy with that corruption when I found this guy. This is a ring that I actually crafted and then bricked, corrupting it, but it actually ended up being a really nice ring. So the attack rating is not a big deal, but we effectively have uh, a 5-point ring here that has both vitality and life, so that's a massive bonus to our overall life pool. Life leech is big as well, and then fire res is actually our lowest resistance, so that actually helps us out as well. The mana attack rating pretty negligible, but really good ring for the meantime. Then we have Drax again, bad corruption, but these gloves are just they're the best gloves for a physical build. -5 enemy physical resistance, it's really hard to come by. Life and mana leech, always nice. -50 monster defense per hit, also very nice. Things are very tanky when you get into the end game, so you're hitting things a lot, so you're actually reducing that defense a good amount over time as you try to kill things. And then on the swap, we're just running 2 sticks that have 3 to war cries for our pre-buff. Inventory is pretty simple, 18, 19, 20 lifers. We get a 6 MF there because it has 10 fire res on it. So, and then pretty mediocre Torch and Annie. I never like to spend my money on charms. And then most of these are almost entirely self-found. Actually, they all are self-found. So some life, some attack rating life, um, max AR dex life, and then a Geeds. That's just your basic stuff. So there is the character. Um, let's just juice up a map here. I have this map here. We'll throw a random event in it as well. Oh, I hadn't corrupted this yet. What do we get? Rarity and density. Love to see that. Let's throw a random event on there. And now we've got a nice little map here. All right. So we'll just run this map as part of the video. And I'll try to talk throughout it. So we're going to buff up here. All right, we got 3k life. Resistances were 1 off perfect in cold. Fire still needs 10. We could get max res to bring these all up to, I think 90 is the cap. But as you'll see, we don't have too much of an issue staying alive. I'm not going to kill the boss in this map because it's super juicy. But how funny would that have been if I died instantly after saying that? And we're just whirlwinding. So as we're whirlwinding, we're casting amplified damage from the husk. That is making our damage insane. Uh, Whirlwind is doing about 8k per tick with the Grandfather and only about 2.4k per tick with the Vile Husk, but again, we are more concerned with that Vile Husk pushing amp damage on everything. That is the big deal. And as you can see, things are dying pretty quickly, pretty stress-free. Now, if I just dive into the middle of a bunch of stuff and I'm not paying attention, I can die. It happens from time to time. Um, but otherwise, it's pretty cozy. So I think at this point, we'll run through the map here and just see if we find anything cool. But yeah, if you notice that I have buffs in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen over here. You can see that 24 that ticks down for Frenzy. That is the timer on the buff, and then just before that hits 0, I've got to manually attack something with Frenzy to get it to refresh. And that's basically how you play the character. Rebattle orders as needed, and then yeah, it's just kind of run around and have fun. Let's see if we find anything cool in here. Maybe a burr rune for the video. Let's see if I can do the whole map without letting my frenzy drop off. And this map is fully juiced. It's a tier 3 that I corrupted to get extra density and rarity. And then we used a catalyst shard, I think it's called, to put a random event in the map. So we'll come across some sort of random event while we're in here. Guaranteed. Last one I got was Nilithax spawning waves. Oh, snap. It's dangerous. I think we're going to want to grab that ETH Venom Lord. Just because it's ETH. See what rolls on it. I know that Venom Lord is really good for one of the end game bosses they added. I think Rathma is the boss. And I'm pretty sure he does a ton of poison, and that Venom Lord is all about mitigating poison damage, so kind of goes quite nicely. Alright, running a little low on potions right now. Kind of like to use those as an oh shit button. Ginther's Rift. I think that item sucks, but I don't know. They changed so many of the uniques in this mod that, like, we'll take a look at it anyways and see if there's anything on there worth using. 6% enhanced damage ethereal war fist. No sockets. Skull splitter. Oh, Triangle's jawbone. That is actually a crafting material to summon a boss that I know is incredibly rare. So that is probably worth like a high rune. I think that's what you need to summon Rathma, and it's the thing that you can't just farm. We got a Fizz immune here, so that's not ideal. Kind of just want to grab this jawbone, but there's so much shit on the ground that I can't click on it. There we go. That thing sucks. Let's see. Can I grab this Ginther's Rift? I don't care about it. This is silly. Rebattle orders. And we keep going. Yeah, that's that jawbone. So that's quite nice. Little upgrade from the original Diablo 2 game. All of your runes and gems and all of things of that nature stack on each other. Ooh, I got another copy of this map. That's nice. We're lagging real bad. It's okay, we power through. Grab a Gothic plate there. See if we can. Ooh, it's a red one. That's big. Life. Big life. Maybe we get an ED roll on that. Corruption with 4 sockets. Billion, billion high rune item. You notice there's a nice little loot filter in the top left-hand corner. It doesn't tell you everything. It tells you all like the currency, which is nice because typically that's what you're looking for the most. But J Tandu, I'm pretty sure sucks. I don't think we're even gonna bother with that. Ooh, a Valor. Interesting. Very low drop rate item. Uh, yeah, that sucks. I'll keep that just in case. I don't know why I grabbed that. A little laggy. A little laggy in this map. I don't love that. 62 ping. That's high. Alright. Another J Tando. That's how we know it sucks. Oh, that's the same one. That's the same one from the other side of the map because I just did a circle there. Champion mob. Yeah, we're looping back around. Sigyn's belt, we can leave. That's a low level. Oh, okay. Ring is gonna suck. Actually, that could be a BK ring. Maybe we get something sick there. It's an Eth rune. We left the dole on the ground back over here. Oh, game ends in 20 minutes, so should be enough time. Alright, and we're just clearing. So I've had a lot of fun. I had some really lucky RNG, especially early on. The first map I ran, I found a Burr rune, and that kind of allowed me to build the whole character, or to get it started anyways. That got me like an entry level grandfather, my helmet, my fort, my torch, and my Annie. So that was how I started. But I've had some other lucky drops as well. Like I've also found an Ohm rune, and I found a Ja rune. Oh, we have coins nearby, so our random event is Geed, which odds are is not very good. But so with Geed, you basically get presented with a vendor, and he has items in his inventory, but it doesn't tell you what the base type is. And you can buy them, and they're guaranteed to be unique, but you don't know what the item is until you purchase it. So it's like unique gambling. The first time I got Geed, he had a Grand Charm, which can only be Geed's, so that was cool. So we just took that, and let's grab some of these gems here. That was actually how I got my Geeds, because I gambled it right from Geed. And I think now our frenzy buff is probably going to fall off. Oh, there's that. Small charm. Alright, let's take a look. Alright, we'll clear some more out first, so we can actually take a look. Oh, my battle orders fell off, so I'm squishy right now and I'm dealing less damage. There we go. Very important to keep an eye on those buffs because the amount of life you lose is substantial for sure. Alright, we're just clearing some space here so we can go back and really take our time looking at Geed's offerings. Okay, Geed, give me something good. Okay. Angelic. Okay. Hmm. That could be a Death's Web. Ooh, I wonder. I have a bow that reduces vendor prices. I wonder if that works on Geed. I think it does because it uh, seems like the Geeds is a. Oh shit! Almost ran in the wrong portal there. Let's see. Ah, it does. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make some room. FCR. Nope. Trash. Throw this here. Rock Fleece. That sucks. That might be okay. That looks like a new item. Oh, okay. I don't think these can be any good. So let those be. Swap back to our sticks, go drop the bow off. That's quite nice. I think that might be something. We'll save that. And now it's probably a good time of any to unload here a little bit. Oh, 15 minutes left. Okay. Oh shit. What? God damn, that thing's sick. Okay. I did not realize they changed it that much. That's actually an icon from Diablo 1. That's the Valor skin from Diablo 1. Okay, so that's big, actually. Um, I don't know how much it's worth not slammed, but perhaps we just slam it and see what happens. That's crazy. I didn't realize they made it two all skills. That thing's massive. Very good armor. I think Fort might beat it out for my build specifically, but I'm quite sure that's really good for not even just barbarians, but other classes as well. Like if you're playing one of those elemental Amazon builds, I think that might be best in slot. So we're going to check the trade site once this run's done and see how much that's worth. Alright, so this run was already worth it. Curious to see what that that wand is worth, if anything, and then Valor. It's kind of big. Uh, Old Diablo 2 history, '08 Valor was at one point in time the best piece of gear in the game. If you don't count Aussie rings and bug storm shields, that is. It's just the stat distribution on that item made it best in slot for pretty much everything at the time, and then they had to nerf it after '08. And then they introduced rune words, so that kind of, you know, Enigma became a thing and no one wore Valor ever again. But I remember sorceresses back in the day wearing Valor, '08 Valor. see if we can grab this XP shrine before we kill too much of this shit. There we go. Throw some potions on real quick just to stay alive. We take a look at this assault helmet. Maybe it's something nice. Always take your jewels. Jewels have a potential to be the most expensive items in the game. Very low, but you know, if you ever passed up 4015, you'd be upset. Although I don't even know how expensive 4015s are anymore. Season's been going on for I think 3 weeks now, so most people have quit at this point. Gear's kind of hard to come by. It's part of the reason why I think I'll be done relatively soon here. I'd have liked to hit like 92, 93. I just don't have I don't have the gumption to grind for that long. Should really go grab that Thul rune. It's a threshold rune. You need those for crafting recipes, specifically in maps. If you want to upgrade a magic to a rare, costs a Thul or higher, so it's always quite nice to just have a bunch of Thuls on deck so you're not wasting anything else. Nice to have an XP shrine while we're doing this. 12% in this map. Currently level 89. And like I said, I'm going to skip the boss. It's a little rippy. And I just, dying once basically undoes all the progress I've made in this map. So the bosses don't really drop shit either. They have the chance to drop that pure demonic essence, but it's not really worth much. And I've had one for trade since like the second day I was playing, and no one's even made an offer on it. So pretty useless if you ask me. I'm sure they have a chance to drop another map, but maps are also cheap, and you can just go buy the maps that you want from the trade site from other players. Sword's about to break. And we are just about done here. I think up ahead is going to be the boss room. Yeah, this is the boss room. Most clear the trash at the beginning, and then we'll get the hell on out of here. Humongous. What is that? Oh, an axe. The loot filter has a pretty good job of telling you what has value and what doesn't. Alright, we're going to call that map there. So, alright, but that is Thomp the Barbarian in a nutshell. Just go buff up real quick to get the final stats. There they are. 12k Frenzy with the Grandfather. Just under 8k on the Whirlwind damage. Pretty close to max res, 3k life. Running fully juiced tier 3 maps. It's about all there is to do. This is just my currency tab of all the stuff I found. I got a couple more of those specific maps here. But I've had pretty much every rune that you can have. These are all them marked out by rarity from 1 to, we stop at 23, but I think there's 35 in total. No high runes at the moment. They kind of all went into this. But yeah, so we netted a Jawbone, Valor, which is really cool. That was actually a pretty juicy run. That sucks. And so does that. All right. Well, that's gonna do it. And thanks for watching, most likely me.